Welcome to Emotion Art.
Emotion art, where we sit down and make art with our emotions.
Emotion art.
Creative energy moving outward in conscious expression of feeling.
Emotion art.
Emotion art.
Emotion art.
Emotion because we are literally made of emotion. Art because everything we do wants to be art. Emotion art. Feels.
Emotion art. It's all beautiful. Emotion art. Emotion art.
A space for emotional art. Creative energy moving outward in conscious expression.
Emotion art.
An emotion art gallery.
This is emotion art.
You're welcome.
That is a nice jacket you got there.
I like it a lot. I feel like I choose my clothes partly for how they feel, but I think that color has a vibration. It has an energy to it.
Sure does.
And on any given day, I'm going to be drawn to particular different colors. This satisfies almost every day I can think of.
I had a friend, I don't think he's still alive. It was one of my second wife's real close friends. He was colorblind, totally. He could see shades of gray. He'd go shopping for clothes. He could tell which was red or green or blue or pink. So he could dress accordingly, right? Not like a violet and pink combination.
Mm-hmm. How could he tell?
He said he could tell by the frequency.
He could feel it.
He could feel the frequency of that color.
Did he have to touch the garment?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I feel like that gives a little bit more evidence to how I feel about how colors are.
All colors have frequency.
Yeah. Have you experienced that as well?
A little bit, not as much as he did.
So, Coyote,
That's me.
I am thrilled to be sitting here with you. I've been wanting to do this for, it feels like a year and a half at least.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming over here. Braving the fog.
Braving the fog. It was pretty foggy up in Staten.
That's where you are now, Staten.
Unfortunately,
Yeah. Life kind of happens sometimes.
it does. I can hardly do my own timeline anymore. It's so complicated. I'm the person who began with an orgasm. It's still that person, only the exploded view of what might have been and what is.
Are you saying that in the sense that a tree is an exploded view of a seed?
Sure. There are a few people probably who might agree, and then again they might not. Fibonacci, the ever-repeating
The sequence.
sequences, formations,
Yeah.
frequencies,
Sacred geometry.
something like that.
Well, you actually just have started to answer the first question that I have for you,
Which
is who are you? That was a fantastic beginning to an answer to that one.
So who am I?
Who are you?
Looks upward and to the right. I'm still finding out who. I couldn't give you a definitive answer. However, inside, I'm still a person who finally evolved at 40 years old.
At 40.
Yeah. 40 was my best span of life.
How many times have you consciously gone around the sun?
Consciously?
Consciously. In your current configuration?
Going on 83 times.
Wow. I asked that because you still aren't 100% sure who you are.
Not.
That's what I heard you say.
There's a book I want to buy called The Horse, the Boy, the Fox, and I think it's the Mole.
Yes.
And the mole asks the little boy, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the little boy answers a special word I can't remember. I would interject happy.
Yeah.
I'd like to be that. Time's coming closer.
You think?
Yeah, Night before last, this is weird, it's not the first time it happened, as I kneed into my futon bed, I felt my consciousness evaporating, like not blacking out, just going away. Might call it could be that fucking close. You know, considering that right now, I could any moment not make it off this hill.
Yes. Not just because of how many times you've gone around the sun.
Because I'm human. And this thing that I'm wearing can die. It doesn't frighten me, it excites me, it makes me anxious, but not fearful. That moment that I just described getting into my futon, it wasn't a fearful thing, it was like, oh yeah, that again.
What is that experience like?
You can't put words to it. I try to write about it. I can't conjure up the right words. It's a profound feeling, though.
Have you experimented or have you experienced dissociative medicine, like hallucinogenic type? There's all kinds of different ones, but
Name one.
like mushrooms, hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Sure.
Is there any comparabilities? Is there any similarities between that experience and what you're talking about in your futon?
Similarities, yeah.
Okay.
The similarities are how to describe it. Going to a restaurant, order a meal, and have two different things that are really different from one another, and they're on the same plate. So it's like seeing separate worlds at the same time. It's a difficult thing to describe.
Yeah. Those are the only things really worth talking about from my perspective, are the things that are, the more difficult it is to describe, the more concrete it feels to me. Weird as that is to say.
The feeling I described, I was in that space. Hard to describe. That again, and also, so this is the way it is. And then a slight expectation. And then it went away, and I got into my futon.
Not time yet.
And I went to sleep. And woke up.
All without fear.
Yeah, 2 days in a row now. All without fear. The only fear I have is when I get these weird things in my shin muscle, the flat one on the outside, that makes your thigh muscle. It goes hard as a fucking rock into a cramp if I exercise it a lot during the day, and I don't massage it at night. Hard as a rock, and I gotta walk it out, because if I don't, it's painful enough I cry. And it's weird. I describe it to doctors, and they say, oh, restless leg.
Yes.
Get up and walk it out.
Yes.
And it's not a restless leg. I'm laying there perfectly quiet, and it goes, fuck you. I'm going to make you pain that you won't be able to resist.
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
It's weird. My mind goes into a whole different space.
Yeah. What's your relationship with meditation?
It's recurrent. It's not steady, except when I go inside my mind and talk about things that went on during the day or things that I should be doing in the next little 24-hour period. I can't go much farther than that. I tell myself, you better write a letter to someone. And the clipboard with the stationery is hanging on my shelf next to my desk so that I can see it as a reminder. I shame myself, and yet the letter does not get written. Why is that?
That's a good question. Who do you want to write a letter to?
That is also the first question. And I was thinking about, why don't I just pick somebody and write to them? And it's hard. For me, it's hard. I like doing this. Eye to eye.
Eye to eye.
This is kind of strange wearing a headphone and speaking into a microphone.
Yes.
I think it's probably my first time.
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I've got all that apparatus in a miniature form in my camera kit. Never used it.
You got it, so you wanted to use it.
Yeah, I thought I'd get heavier into sound recording and hook it up to my camera on a tripod and do some birds and sounds and stuff like that. Or little tiny mushrooms or whatever.
Or little tiny bonsai trees?
Those as well.
When you were living in Corvallis, I saw your collection outside of your house in that little covered porch, and the whole thing was a bonsai village of trees that you crafted and curated and loved over the years. It was hard to pull myself away from the space. The energy, the symmetrical asymmetry of it was profound. And those little personalities.
Yeah, each one had its own character. Merka has most of them up in Beaverton.
Yeah, she moved away. I miss her.
I miss her too. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. She's a unique soul.
She is.
Merka is the only reason that I know you. I might know you otherwise from other reasons, but in this iteration, that's the reason. Merka.
Well, that was a strange thing too, Michael. Because she texted me one time, and there was a typo. Instead of Michael and Angela, it was Michael and Angels. I said, who the fuck is Angels? I've never heard of anybody named Angels. Angel one, but what?
Angels.
That's how I guess it all started.
Mm.
And then profoundly, this wild hair I had about, I'd like to celebrate something of 80 times around the sun, but not by myself. Invite a whole bunch of friends. And Merka said, well, how about Michael and Angela? I said, well, of course.
Old friends. I'm curious, because of how many times that you've seen the sunrise, what your first impressions of the world were, how you remember that. What world were you born into?
I was born into a world in need. Pretty poor family. My dad worked sometimes 7 days a week in pouring down rain in the mill. Those years, I don't remember much of him.
How do you feel about that?
I think there could have been a deeper relationship, but there wasn't.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that too.
Everything was different in one sense, in some senses.
Situations were extremely different than they are now.
Yeah.
Just getting into another war out of the one behind. In 1943.
Yes.
I can remember going to the movie theater, which had an upright piano on the stage behind the curtain, where the owner of the theater would play to the silent films on the piano.
The theater experience was different.
It was different.
Wow. So the movies, then when they came out, they came with a music track that you could play.
She improvised.
Oh, wow.
She would be watching the movie and playing along with it. She was an amazing woman.
Oh, that's so interesting.
She was also a property owner. Some people didn't like her. Some people liked her.
Typical human. With typical humans.
Yeah, she made a donation to the audience every weekend with piano music and silent film. I remember some of those. The theater was almost packed. Our theater had a crying room that was enclosed in glass on two sides of the corner. It was weird. They allowed smoking in there where the babies were.
In the crying room.
No air conditioning.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Different world. The more you know. Did you have a standout favorite of the movies you saw back then in that theater?
Disney movies. I like those.
Do you remember any one in particular?
Well, there was an ocean one that I really liked a lot. I reconnected to that one when I lived on Maui. with my second wife, Merka's mom.
Hmm. What is it called?
The Island.
The ocean one. Movie.
The movie, I could have named it yesterday. It was a series of movies. The ones about rivers and mountains, one about the ocean.
It was done by Disney?
Yeah, Disney, old Disney movies, nature movies.
Oh, okay.
They all had a special name.
That gives me enough information that I can look it up.
Okay.
So something happened when you were 40 or around that time.
Yeah, it was on Maui just before I turned 40. I got sober
Why?
because I was pretty much lost. Living on an island with 2 children and a wife that wouldn't talk to me.
Do you feel like that was your rock bottom?
One of them.
Okay.
Addiction is a plural thing.
That feels true.
I can recall going through it. And then there are spaces in that recollection that are blank. I don't think those are retrievable. I think they weren't recorded.
Because they were too painful?
Because I was too far gone. There's the difference between alcohol and the shit that they give you before they perform invasive surgery. It's the reason they have an anesthetist is to keep you from dying. There's no one there if a person drinks alcohol. I approached that one a few times. I don't know how that happens, but it did. And this is the other side of it. I'm happy about that.
So the feeling I get is that you had a slow realization that you didn't like the life that you were in, and you felt that the alcohol was responsible.
Yeah,
and so
it
you
was
quit.
it was a deadening of reality. Is all that addiction is. Wanting to have no more chaos.
Escape. I was just thinking about that myself. Is that marijuana is something that I have used as a medicine, knowingly self-medicating.
Sure.
And that was something I was thinking about, is that it feels like it's a primer in surrender. It feels like it is the opening salvo of deep surrender inside that I find in meditation. It doesn't really take me past that, but it helps me understand why it's something that I was always drawn to. Because it, like you're saying, it stills that chaos, stops the world from spinning around me.
It's like when you spin a coin on a tabletop. It's perfectly spherical. It has so many sides until it quits spinning, and then and those vibrations. It's one of the coolest things that you can see and that you can feel right at the end of perception. I can do that in real life.
The cool thing being the coin resolving into one aspect, or the cool thing being so many aspects that you can't even see as it spins.
Just step inside. It's like the ability to stop the coin on its edge with your finger. Instant meditation.
We're talking about smoking.
Momentous. Tear that word apart.
Momentous? I mean, at face value, it has moment and us.
This is a momentous moment. English language is a lot of the times so fucked up.
It's a mess.
I hear things like komorede. What is that? It's the effect one feels when they see sunlight filtering through a tree of leaves. One word, komorede.
What language does that come from?
Japanese.
They have the most incredible way to describe feelings. I have to learn Japanese.
I have 2 granddaughters that are an 8th. And they could care less. Their mom, she doesn't care. Her mom would like to. They've gone away. I thought these glasses were...
I edit all these conversations, so don't worry about disrupting. Everything becomes what it's supposed to be. And if you get chilly, because we had to turn the heat off for the sound, if you get chilly, I can grab your jacket for you.
Okay. I had headphones at one time, early on, and computered them. All the gadgets.
All the gadgets.
I still have a lot of gadgets.
And it's funny how fast they become obsolete and the new gadgets here that you got to get.
Hopefully they don't die until you can replace them.
Yeah.
Like that phone.
Yeah. A lot of people don't use their phones for more than 2 years anymore. Just get a new one. Everything's just replaceable. Throw it away. Get a new one. Recycle it. Whatever. It feels like that's more and more and more becoming the thing. Now even ideas. AI. Social media. Throw it away. Next. I guess that's what evolution feels like, maybe. Maybe it has a purpose.
It's a poor simulation of what makes people happy.
It makes people feel happy. It feels like it's replacing something that's real. But is that just the mechanism to keep that flywheel of change going? I mean, the Earth peoples. We're here because the Earth peoples. It's what happens. So that means that every single person on the planet exists by right. It's where they belong because this is what the Earth is doing. And that means everything that's happening is happening with a purpose. And change is hard. Growing up, everything is hard. Real life has both pain and pleasure. You can't have one thing without its contrast. So when we look at, like, I have children at home, and social media, screens is a thing because it draws the kid's brain in, that hunger for dopamine. But who am I to say that they're not doing exactly what people are supposed to do right now in this point, in this period of evolution?
It's akin to infection and also inflammation.
Infection and inflammation, what are you comparing? What specifically?
The movement that one sees in a particular generation or group.
Gotcha.
Much of it is pressure.
Yes.
Either you're one of us or you're one of them.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately a real us or them world. I wish it would stop.
What I'm wondering is that the way it's supposed to be? Consciousness, for all of recorded history, has been completely consumed in the pursuit of basically food and propagation, eating and sex. That's the animal kingdom. That's kind of how everything works. And yeah, in between it all, there's lots of different activities that happen, but it's really all to that purpose. And that inflammation, that pain, that pressure to change because we're capable of more. I'm wondering if the very thing we look at and say, oh, this is terrible. Why is this happening? Maybe we don't ever get to where humans, consciousness, whatever, want to get to, need to get to by virtue of who we are, unless we go through these transitional phases that are painful. And that the older generation is always like, well, when I was a kid, and the young generation is just like, fuck you. I'm a kid. I get to be the kid now.
In effect, that's what the older generation is telling them.
I already hear it coming out of my mouth. Like, when I was a kid, oh, wait, I don't want to do that. I want to accept them where they are.
Sometimes it's a matter of being at that stage of living with other human beings. They're doing it because of the pressure, not only from rubbing shoulders, but from just the physical presence of the other person. There's pressure there.
Yeah.
Sometimes we merge, and sometimes it's okay to be in our own sphere. It's pretty much what evolution is, being comfortable in your own sphere.
And it's a process that's beyond us. It's not like we can choose to evolve or not evolve. You're part of a grand picture. that's been going for a lot longer than we can imagine.
I'd really like to feel what it would be like to be mycelium. I think that would be amazing.
Why? Mycelium being a network, a mushroom network under the ground, right?
Or even some form of microbe.
Okay. Why are you drawn there?
I've always been drawn to small things. I can remember as a toddler, still in diapers, being fascinated with this shit that be crawling around in the lawn. It's like nobody ever told me there was this stuff there. Get really close, watch them. They're walking around down there. What are those things? I found botany to be too mind-consuming, although I'm interested in it now. Always have been. Entomology was another one. Probably my first experience with alien life was seeing an ant. And that testimonial was, I guess, tattooed on my pain center when that red-headed ant pinched me. Well, them motherfuckers, you know you've been bitten by a very tiny thing.
Yeah, I was bit by red ants in New Mexico a lot. And they curl up in a ball and you can't get them back off and they'll...
These are different.
okay.
These are Oregon natives. Well, Oregon indigenous, the ones that built a big ant mound out in an abandoned pasture.
Okay. Red-headed ants.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're pretty bad.
You said alien life.
Well, as we determined when we first emerge into this life as babies, this is the only thing there is us.
Yeah.
Or the mother or the father or brother or sister.
Or things on our scale. Right. So by that, you were talking about a different scale. So you look at the mycelium, at the little things, at the little lichens and the little critters and creatures down there as an alternate reality almost.
Right. And the aphids that the ants take care of.
That's weird.
They're called ant cows.
And in a sense, they aren't even aware of things as big as us. Like we interact with their world and it affects them and they'll bite us to protect themselves, but they're not aware of us in our paradigm. They're aware of us from their own paradigm, which is very different. We're like a disturbance.
Yeah, it's a presence that is really, really enormous compared to their own self-awareness.
Yeah.
They would have to have that too in order to place their feet where the foot wants to be best placed for balance and transmission. So
they're aware of a foot. They're aware of a finger. They're aware of something that enters their reality frame, but not of the whole picture of who we are.
Yeah, their nervous system, their response mechanism, and whatever kind of neural network is making that go, they're alien. If that's all we had, we wouldn't be talking.
At least not in this format.
Wouldn't that be a trip? Those tiny little aliens with the antennae can talk to each other through those, just by touch and whatever vibration that we're unable to detect. Physical telepathy.
And by smell, by following a trail, by sensing the cues, the energy cues left by another. Do you think humans can communicate that way as well?
I think it's possible. Probable, I don't know. There's evidence and yet there's not evidence. People already do. Wouldn't it be incredible to be able to not say words, just communicate mentally with you?
Is it possible?
It is possible. I believe it's possible. A couple of times it's reached out and touched me before I had a cell phone. Pick up that phone. Wait for that dial tone, and it never comes. The line is fucking dead. And the person on the other end says, Harry, mind blow. I was calling a woman named Ann in Los Altos, California. At the same time, she was calling me.
Wow.
It was there.
But there was no conscious thing that says, she's going to call me. It was just following the flow of the energy around you.
Just being there. Trippy.
Yeah. There's a podcast called The Telepathy Tapes. Have you heard of that?
I have not heard of that. You could ask me to go down another rabbit hole.
No. I would say, because you said there's proof and there's not proof.
Right.
To me, the work done by Kai Dickens, the investigative reporter who did the telepathy tapes and who's about ready to release a full documentary, is about telepathy used by nonverbal people, especially in the autism community, but also many other types of nonverbal. Telepathy tapes. I'll send you a link to it just in case you're interested. But to me, if that's not proof, and I have friends who listen to it and say, I'm not convinced, but I just can't see any way around it. And the overwhelming thing to me is, if they can do it, so can I. I think I already am. I think it already exists around us. I think that we are communicating volumes right now. Am I sensitive enough to actually consciously register the information and get anything from it? No. But I'm becoming that way. Each conversation, one increment at a time, I'm learning that it isn't in the focused senses. I'm not going to feel it and hear it and taste it and touch it and see it with my focused perception, but with my peripheral perception, with the one that is there when I'm lost in wonder in a wilderness, in the woods, and time just stops and I'm just there being part of everything. I start to feel and sense things, but they're all inside me. And they're all so subtle, like the gentlest breeze just eddying around. And you can see that the breeze is there because of what happens and the little movements and just the imperceptible micro changes. And then you know the wind is there.
Yes, people indulge that directly. Sometimes they call it forest bathing.
Mm-hmm.
It's an incredible feeling.
I'd like to do a lot more of that in my life.
I would like to do more. Maybe not a lot more, but some more. I'm finding it difficult to find someone to do that with. Like even to drive somewhere to, park the car and get off onto a trail somewhere.
I will do that with you anytime. I know it's not easy to get over here, but you can park the car right here, and there's all kinds of trails right from here.
Wow.
In beautiful forest.
I looked on Google Earth, and how much darker land is that to the north of you?
Directions. Let me think.
And then there's a easement for what looks like maybe power lines.
Yes.
Can you hear it?
Yes. Rarely from here, but it's just at the bottom of the hill. And if I'm anywhere near it, you can hear it. And if it's raining, it's like a static storm.
I had a friend in Melrose, just west of Roseburg, who had a couple of acres. And there were some power lines that were pretty close by. And he got experimenting. He was a fellow ham operator. He got to experimenting about if the earth is such a capacitor, and one should be able to tap into that energy some way. And he figured out the distance that would be required to insert ground rods and connect them. He got knocked on his ass, and it was enough to power his house.
Wow.
But that's the kind of a thing that can get you probably felony, and I don't know why. It's always fucking there.
Yeah.
BPA never put it there. It's been here all that time.
Just like electricity, power innate in the earth itself.
Just look at a lightning bolt. What is that?
Isn't it a rebalancing of a power?
It's a balancing of the potential
Above and below.
between positive ions and negative. It can either be from cloud or it could be from ground, either one. And whatever the situation, climatically or meteorologically.
But that power is there.
It's there.
There's no generator that's generating the lightning bolt.
No. You can prevent that stuff from happening at your place, too. Spline ball protection. Just put a ground system on your house, you'll never get struck. And mostly your forest around you is protected a bit, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if the administration catches a person trying the ground road trick, they can have them arrested.
There are places where you can get fined. I don't know if you get arrested, maybe, for collecting rainwater.
I've heard of that. Where is that?
Great. I don't know. I think it's a zoning thing. But I could be wrong. All I know is I've heard of it.
City?
Now I'm going to have to look it up.
Okay.
Because you just put the ignorance to my statement. That's fantastic. Are you cold? I'm going to get your jacket. I just looked at those power lines, by the way. I could see them faintly through the fog. I don't know. That's all a mystery to me. But
well,
I can't see it, but I can hear it. I can hear that there's something going through those lines.
When you get away from it all, you can still hear some kind of activity in the atmosphere. I've been like 100 miles away from the nearest anything. No power lines, anything. You can still hear something, or I can anyway. Mm-hmm. That's above, or not maybe above, but instead of tinnitus. Like I know the tinnitus is there. You can hear it now, but it's something else. Wow. What is that? And I ask people about it, and they say, you're fucking crazy.
You're not crazy.
There ain't anything out there. You're just hearing things. You've had too many drugs. You were drunk for too long.
Interesting. On the last recording I just did with someone named Melissa, good friend, so good. We talked about this. I call them the tones. I started hearing them when we moved into this property. We moved out of town, moved into this property, and I started to hear something out of the corner of my perception. Like I just couldn't quite put my finger on it, and I immediately thought tinnitus because I've been in the military. I deployed. I've been working construction since I was 15, shooting guns, all the loud noises with none of the protection. And every once in a while, you get that pop. It's like you on in one side or the other. There's like a pop, and then a ringing, like that clear ringing, just starts. That's what I think of as tinnitus.
Yeah, and there's another thing that goes along with it, where your hearing goes totally away.
Yeah,
totally away.
Yeah,
and a severe ringing slowly dissipates.
Is that what you're calling tinnitus, or is that the other thing?
That's part of it. Part of tinnitus, part of inner ear damage.
Okay.
From ear surgery, where they punctured my eardrum when I had an ear infection to let it drain. Now, that pain went away, and so did the infection with some penicillin, the wonder drug. But then, I can't remember my hearing being buzzed or with this ringing sound like happened to me during basic training in the Army. No hearing protection of any kind. 30 caliber machine, 50 caliber machine.
Wow.
Bazooka, grenade.
Wow.
And if you happen to be walking by the parade field on post and that sound goes off, you're supposed to turn and face the cannons and salute at attention. But no fucking hearing protection. It's standing in front of a 5-inch fucking barrel. And they blow blanks. What?
It's amazing you can hear anything at all.
I know.
So, back to this ringing that's not tinnitus? Because I'm
Right.
super curious about that, because I'm wondering how similar your experience with it is to mine. What does it sound like? When do you hear it? Why do you think you hear it?
It sounds much like what electrical transmission lines sound like, only it's more tonal, like a signal.
Okay.
The atmosphere around this planetary body, it exists, and shit happens.
Yes.
Fucking thunderstorms. Let's get with it, man. This area over here is too much potential built up, and then the system fails, and because the system never had it in mind, let's protect the forest.
Yeah.
But that's where regeneration comes in, because there are certain aspects of wildfire and the takedown of entire forest is regenerative.
Brings balance.
And we tried to copy that shit. Look what happened.
Which part?
Oh, we don't have history books enough.
Well, the history books are written by the victors.
Mm.
Written by whoever decided to write them.
One being written right now. Matter of fact, they're erasing certain portions of our past.
Welcome to human history keeping. Customized for whoever's pleasure is in control.
The authoritarian of the day. I read an article, I can't remember who the authors of the quote, and we elected an adulterer, an adjudicated sexual predator, 34 times convicted felon to the highest office in the nation, joined Orban, Putin, and all those some gargantuan despot dictators. So, back to reality, I don't know.
Since you brought that up, I just have to say, every time that the news comes on, any channel of news, any advertisement, any of that type of manufactured broadcast content, I feel like the same feeling I have when I'm watching the Hunger Games, except without that feeling of this isn't real. Like I'm just enjoying a story. When I watch the Hunger Games, I feel like I'm watching an adaptation of what's going on here. It's all this big game show. And if you're on the game show, you're corrupt. You can't get on the game show otherwise. That's how it feels to me. I just wanted to say that because
it's a good concept.
It feels fucking important to me.
I've been entertaining some of my evening hours with a series called Spooks. It's about the MI5 in London.
Okay.
And what they do.
Okay.
Some of the information is back during the Bush era, and some of the shit that they got there, like people making deals with human lives.
Welcome to entire recorded history of humanity. Why do we do this?
Invite the princeling of the Saudis into the White House after having Khashoggi dismembered and disposed of.
Well, he was probably a corrupt reporter. Gallows humor, by the way, just in case it wasn't clear.
That's about what would come out of Trump's mouth if he dared say anything about that.
Exactly.
He'd get a lot of backlash. It is.
Okay, before I sidetracked you, what were you say you were going somewhere?
I'm easily distracted.
Me too. It makes for the kind of conversation that this is going to be.
So, a bit of shopping at Winco. And maybe stop by First Alt Co-op.
Mm-hmm. The co-op. Love that place. Thank you, co-ops, for being there and having a different option of how to do business, how to eat food, how to connect in the community in a real way.
And some of it's the only place in town you can get certain items.
Yeah. And everything's expensive.
It costs a bit more at First Alt.
I am 100% sure they make a lot less profit, too.
No doubt about that.
No doubt.
Sometimes I go with economy in mind, since where I live extracts a lot of money for me to be able to live there.
Yes. The United States.
The United States is my only income.
And it extracts it all back.
All except $200 a month.
Oh boy. And that's why places like Winco, grocery outlet, are in business because everything's so expensive and there isn't enough money to go around.
How do I still be able to drive around and buy some essentials and some grocery items and have car insurance and a phone bill paid every month or every half year or quarter or whatever, and still maintain an account at Windy, and Spotify, and a monthly donation to a radio station on my income? I don't know. I've never kept books. I wouldn't mind having a better budget.
Yeah, it can be limiting.
I have applied to Applegate Landing in Lebanon, and Kirsten, the woman contact that Merka worked with, 13th on the waiting list for an apartment there to hopefully get me out from under corporate oversight.
Yes.
Shitty food and lack of privacy.
I've worked at those places before.
There's a hierarchy, and it's right back to the us or them.
All symptomatic of the game show.
I've wanted to get out of there since I first arrived.
Us and them is the basis of the game show, the Hunger Games. The not enough money to go around, I don't think that's actually the way things are. I think there is enough resources to go around. Money is something that's created out of our thought. It's a game we all agree to play together. And since the game show is running it, there's not enough to go around. Because it wouldn't have the glitz and the glam. It wouldn't be able to control if there was enough to go around.
There is enough to go around. It's just not flowing.
Because it's us and them. You can't flow from us to them because they're going to take advantage of us.
It is flowing from us to them because that's why there's one asshole out there that's going to be the first trillionaire.
And then there's going to be 15 of them. And then there's going to be made up numbers because there's no end to it. There's no cap to the insanity that the game show brings with it. The show must go on, though. It's all about the ratings. So you're right. The flow is very one directional. There is no balance. And when you look around at the world around you, like you're talking about lightning, storms, the earth in its natural systems, finding a way to balance the imbalances, that's what I see when I look around at the riots, at the unrest, at everything that's going on, right or wrong, whether I agree with it or not. That doesn't matter. It's there because it's a symptom of the imbalance. That's just what came into my thoughts when you were talking about that.
The balance is easily lost track of.
Yeah, because there's a guy behind the curtain that's making sure you lose track of it.
You mean the bald, fat, white guy?
That's one of them. They come in all the shapes and sizes.
That was not a parody. That was a reality.
Yep.
I pay attention to what goes on in the national scene, government, whatnot, down to local, wide and Merkley. Does it matter? Probably not.
Depends on who they are. And yes, it does matter.
Sometimes it matters that they're not there. Philosophers and other folks of the greater realm have written about that shit, talked about it. Like, this is what happens, and here we are in the midst of it.
Been killed for it.
Disappeared.
Forced to disappear themselves. Some of the old, who was it that drank poison?
It was Hemlock.
Plato? No. Aristotle? I devour the concepts and I cannot remember the names. I love philosophy and I have such a hard time remembering the details. My brain doesn't care about the details. It likes the concepts. That's the food.
There's some things I can't remember what I read.
Yeah.
But I'll always remember the way it made me feel.
Exactly. That's the food. Because the words, whether it's English, which is a particularly chaotic one, or any language, spoken language, they're just symbols to represent emotions.
Is in the Hawaiian language, a language built around music. To listen to my friend Pohaku on Maui, he was a full-blooded Hawaiian. to hear him speak in his language was like listening to a song.
How much easier would it be to communicate emotions that way?
It would be a whole lot easier.
And yet still, it's just a symbol for something that is unutterable. Maybe by ants. Ants may be able to communicate pretty perfectly.
I think they don't have a need for it. A need for secrets.
Do humans have a need for secrets?
Humans, every one of us has secrets.
We have secrets, but the need for them.
If we didn't need it, maybe we should discard it.
I could not agree more. And I think if there were no secrets, we would be able to communicate mind to mind, emotion to emotion, and it would be as perfect. I don't know if it's perfect, but as perfect as the ants and the bees.
Or it could be as perfect as was written about in a book called Mutant Message Down Under by a woman named Marla Morgan. I've talked to this woman because I was fascinated by her description of Aboriginal Australians, 120 of them taking her on a, what do they call it, into the outback.
The outback?
But they have a name for it, the journey.
Oh.
Kind of like the one that...
Walkabout.
Yeah. So she gets this invitation to come to a seminar in Australia, and she dresses up in this tailored silk pink pantsuit with a Rolex watch and $5,000 worth of jewelry around her neck. And here's this open-air Jeep with a windshield folded down, and this Aboriginal guy calls her name, and he takes her to a place, right? And she gets to experience reality and how people talk to each other and talk to not only each other, but the animals. She's slowly introduced to this telepathy thing. So in the book, it's intimated that there's an ability, if you can do this, to turn it on and off to prevent other people from hearing you. So we need to find a switch.
Telepathy tapes might be very interesting for you. She talks about this. I should say they, the nonverbals, who are now communicating with spelling boards in all kinds of different ways as technology improves and as human minds become a little bit more open to things they don't maybe understand right off.
Like sperm whale.
What about it?
They have a language.
Whales keep coming up in my life right now for some reason, constantly.
There's a book called Mind in the Waters. It's in my collection somewhere. It goes into detail about whales.
Mind in the water. Well, it's time for me to read that book. I have 2 books now to read.
What's the other one?
I don't remember. I'm going to remember it when I do the editing process. But it's the one where you started talking about the walkabout.
Oh yeah, Mutant Message Down Under.
I'll be reading those too.
I had a phone conversation with Marla, and she said some of what I described was real and some wasn't. And she said it's up to the reader to determine which is and which is not.
Why? Why did she do that?
To encourage imagination.
Interesting. That makes me want to read it even more, though.
Would draw you in.
I like the minds that think differently, that like to shake things up to make people think. I appreciate that.
Like Heinlein and Robert McFarlane. Robert McFarlane spent a few years following rivers and talking to people along the way. And he wrote a book called Is a River Alive? I'll send you the link to Willow Diffenbaugh's podcast with Robert McFarlane. You'd enjoy it.
Good. I will listen.
Now that my phone's charging,
Yeah.
the little mind in my phone will allow me to do that.
Yep. Can be very helpful.
All the stuff that was going on in my head when I first walked in with a dead phone, all that stuff is quiet. That's the dependence.
Worry. You're talking about worry,
Anxiety.
anxiety, because the phone's
Yeah.
dead.
The worry, it doesn't worry me. If it's impending, well, if it's already dead, there's nothing impending and there's no worry.
Yes.
Like my dad died, no worry.
Yes.
It happened. So,
That sounds like being present in the moment, learning
Yeah.
to accept what is. You can still have the stress of the impending, but when it comes, this is what is. How did you learn that? Nobody can accept what is. That's the hardest part of being a
I'm
human.
still learning.
Okay.
It's just like there is no perfection. There are people who claim there is perfection. Look at the deity. Well, is there any? I don't think so.
No deity.
No deity. There's consciousness without deity. I think this planet has a consciousness, and I think we should learn to tread more lightly and to notice small things that happen, because without the small things that are of great importance, what we like to do, which is live on this planet, will cease to exist. The birds are falling. The insects are dying. The forests are being removed. That takes my breath away.
Yes.
It gets emotional for me
Hmm.
to see videos of part of the Amazon going up in smoke.
Getting clear cut.
They clear cut it, sell the trees, plant palm trees instead for palm oil.
What does your gut say? Do we start listening? Do we turn this around? Do we?
We better start listening, or there is no turnaround. When the sea levels rise because the planet is warming, atmospheric warmth will happen. You can't cloud seed it away. You can't reflect it away. It's going to happen. And then, because of the seriousness of the rise in global warming and the speed in which it has been happening, it could very well cause another ice age sooner than anyone expects. We can look into history to see that. There's a current that comes out of the Gulf
Okay.
and follows the coastline and gets mixed with the pure water that's coming out of Greenland. And that helps neutralize the bad effects of the North Atlantic into Europe. Without that, Europe fucking freezes over every winter severely.
I've just been reading that all the ocean currents are not only changing, but some of them are disappearing. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. If the one in the near Atlantic stops, things will happen that will allow the ocean to become much warmer, much more quickly. And that much more ice will melt. It will. It's doing it now. Tidal water in high-profile New Jersey. Tidal water in your fucking garage.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the majority of people who could do something about it deny it. And those that don't care, because then it becomes all about money.
Back to the game show.
It's a game show.
Okay. Also, there's many interesting things here that I'm curious about, but the Earth has cycles and patterns, warming, cooling. Everything is a cycle. Is it possible that we are giving ourselves too much credit, too much negative credit, and that maybe the cycles are what would be happening either way? Devil's advocate. Curious what you say to that.
I'd say that during the advent of industrial nationalizing, the revolution that captured electricity, optics, the combustion engine, and all those things, and we happened to get away from mostly the plague and settle down into a more civilized way of living, maybe. Maybe.
Further from the Earth. Civilized kind of means further from the Earth. Less nature-like.
Tom Hartman has a newsletter, and he also has, I think, a podcast. And his whole avenue of illumination is all about ADHD.
Mm.
There is a society.
Mm.
There are hunters and there are farmers. The farm people are the ones that communicate more closely with each other and tend to congregate in cities and towns and villages. And then there's the hunters. We were always questioning, always looking, is that tall grass or is it a zebra?
Mm.
Or is it a lion?
They're looking for what is there
What is actually happening?
rather than just believing with the group.
What is happening is there are a bunch of people that are in the center of the herd and they can't see anything else except asses. They think, the smell of those asses is so nice. I think I'll stay here. Because the herd is moving, And if they stop, they'll get trampled.
And they can't see anything outside of it.
The ones that are on the edge have a modicum of freedom, but we're still being sucked along with the current and able to see at the same time what's going on around. So unless we make the mistake of becoming addicted to whatever, whether it's alcohol or morphine, some kind of opioid, because we got a leg shot off, and then say, fuck it, living ain't worth it.
Or even just the smell of asses your whole life. I mean, the smell and sight of asses, that's not what we were meant to live our entire life in. So no wonder we're drinking and numbing it away.
The ones who drink it away, like I was, and the ones who are smoking it away, investing in R.J. Reynolds, are the ones that are going over the cliff. The sad part is the ones in the center of the herd either don't realize that's what's happening, or they don't care and they die. Suicide, accident,
Trampled.
stupidity.
Just lay down, give up and lay down and get
Fuck
trampled.
that, it ain't worth it. Or they'll get sucked along right over the cliff with the rest of them. I'd rather not do that.
So, humanity, do we figure it out? Do we evolve? Are we going to? Does your gut say? I know no one knows, but what do you think is coming? Do you think that humanity is going to feel the pressure and evolve? Or do you think we're headed over the cliff and that's just what's going to happen?
If we allow ourselves to go on living and not dump enough toxins into the atmosphere, whether it's the atmosphere or the ocean or the air, either one, by way of dirty radiation, it could happen overnight.
The cliff.
Yeah. Not go over the cliff would disappear under us. And there'd be nothing but an abyss.
And it's like a smoker. You can smoke for 50 years. You can smoke for your whole life. And yeah, you'll be sick a little. You can feel the effects. It stinks. Your quality of life isn't quite as good, but you can ignore all that until the ecosystem, finally, the balance tips to a certain point. Now the life-ending ailments begin. And once they begin, they never end. They're there until you die.
It's like my first VA doctor said when he diagnosed me with emphysema from smoking on and off for a total probably of close to 40, 35, 40. He said, you'll probably die from this. But he gave me 5 years. It's been 12 or 15. I feel pretty good. I can't walk as far as I used to.
I guess the rules are there to define the exceptions. That is not the normal way of it, though.
No, the normal way would be far different. I'm glad I'm not there.
I think there's a whole element of your being that isn't in the middle, that doesn't want to be in the middle. You want to see what is. And I have a feeling that has something that's grown in your life and practiced at least from the time you were 40.
It's gotten me in trouble.
Of course.
Being contrary.
Of course. Because the show must go on.
Merka was living with me, and me being contrary is what caused her to leave. It was not a nice thing I said to her. Apologies came. I think were accepted, but You'll never forget how it made you feel.
The impact. Your contrariness, there's an element of it that is something valuable to you. And there's another element of it, it sounds like, that's part of your learning journey. That's a question, I guess.
Merka and I are very close, probably as close as we might ever be, but there's still that scar, I guess you might say.
Maybe she's the one that the letter's for.
Maybe.
Or maybe you are.
Oh, the thought came to me, as thoughts do, wherever they're coming from. There's an experiment in time that maybe I shouldn't be writing to anyone. Maybe I should be writing to myself, like a page in a journal, and just post it to some random friend. How would the friend take that? I don't know. It would be, what the fuck is he talking about? Oh my gosh.
When you first said about the paper, the stationery on your shelf, that letter, when you said you don't know who, immediately the thought came to me, yourself.
I guess it might be a way to unself me. I've been reading a newsletter that comes most every day, The Marginalien by Maria Popova.
Marginalien.
The Marginalien.
Like
margins. Alien. Marginalien.
Okay.
She's an immigrant from Eastern Europe when she was little, and she has insights into many, many things and likes to bring in other authors of the same who expand on this idea of unselfing oneself and how to remain neutral, or how to appreciate yourself. You know, what is love all about? If one can't love oneself, it's really impossible to do that toward another person or of another person. Those concepts in general population are unheard of. Once in a while, you meet a person that enjoys exploring that galaxy of thought, or at least a solar system of thought.
Any system of thought that's bigger than whatever's colliding around in your head.
Oh, I wish it would find a way out sometimes. Like, not that I can't go to sleep at will, but there's some points in my waking day. It's like a rabbit hole in my own mind.
You just want the quiet. Just bring the quiet.
And so the times that I'm asleep, I'd like to remain asleep. So the urinary system wakes me up.
Yes.
And that's okay because that's natural. But where I'm living, the physical part of it, it's like living in an institution. It requires restrictions and whatnot. And it's old. Building's 20 years old. And there are some people that go into their door, and since the door will close itself, they just let it do that.
Oh.
Wham.
Yeah.
Wide awake. PTSD.
Here come the thoughts. Here comes the noise.
PTSD from birth. I was dumbfounded when Dr. Wooten told me that. He said, I know what happened to you now. You described your birth events. And that's what gave you your PTSD. No army, no childhood accident. It was when you were born. Took my breath away. Because, well, I can't remember that.
But your nervous system can't.
That's it. I know how it made me feel. Like loud noises, like cars backfiring, doors slamming. Curiously enough, thunder does not bother me.
So what, you think that when you were being born, a door slammed?
4th of July.
Fireworks.
The evening I was born. I wasn't even allowed to be a newborn in peace and quiet, as were any of the other people that were in the hospital with babies.
Interesting.
Within 100 feet of the hospital, over the log pond for safety, you know?
Of course. I mean, your personality is a synthesis of every experience you've had from the time you were in the womb, maybe even before. So that makes perfect sense to me.
There may be a kind of a universal spark of something in every one of us. I think it's possible, but we're not astronomically close to putting a finger on that. Oh, you're talking about God. What?
The ultimate trigger word.
Oh, yeah. It captures almost 100% of human beings' minds, just that word.
Polarizes them, makes them fight.
It's a concept that they came up with mostly for control. If you can convince enough people in your society that you can talk to that deity, and this is what the deity says you should do, then you do it. And if you don't, you're ostracized. It's a game.
Even God is incorporated in the game show. I mean, God is the original platform for the game show because God has been present in human consciousness from before recorded history started. Some form, some version of the thing that's bigger, the greater consciousness, the great spirit, whatever you want to call it. I think it's there. I think it exists before us. Sure. I think that we are made out of its substance.
It exists now in some of our relatives. Chimpanzees in an electrical storm with thunder and lightning will pick up sticks and bang a big tree and run around shouting, like as if to say, go away, go away, go away, or I will hurt you, I will hurt you. And maybe that tree is something like a god to them, punishing the god. And then eventually the thunder is stopping and the rain stops and there's no more lightning. And they've appeased the god.
Ritualistic.
Yeah.
But it's not God that's causing the problem.
It's not any kind of a concept of a god.
It's the game show taking it and creating a game out of it.
Sure.
Here's the rules. Come to us from God.
And we'll explain it to you. We'll explain the rules to you.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the game show. But that only makes us versus them, which is the lifeblood of the game show. That God, whatever it is that's actually there, is not made less because of what we've done with the concept. It's still there. It's always been there. It's part of this concrete floor. It's what this is made out of. God is looking at me right now, has some crazy ideas, and has had a crazy life for 84 years. I feel like I'm talking to God.
That's why they talk about being made in his own image. That's why
that line is something.
That's fucking sarcasm. That's the original sarcasm.
Really?
Those poor motherfuckers don't even know what's happening to them. God created you in his image, motherfucker. And billions of people believe that.
I believe that it is the plague of the Western culture, of the world, that we believe we are separate from God. It all is God. God is just a word. It's just a symbol to describe an emotion or a super complex set of emotions.
Like Gaia.
Like Gaia. That's the thing. Having these conversations is making me see it more and more clearly. We're all looking at the same thing, but we all have the bias of what our cultural us versus them has given us. That corrupts it.
And since we don't telepath our thoughts, it's all a matter of individual perception. That's what starts the viciousness of the game show.
Yep.
Us against them. You motherfucker.
How dare you? You hate everything about us.
Or, right now, I need what you have.
Because you're going to use it against me because you hate everything about us. Therefore, I have to hate everything about you. I don't have a choice. It's your fault.
Sure. That's it.
So what's the answer? What do we need to see that we don't see? What changes the equation?
Be a little kinder than necessary. That's what my daughter found in printed it out. It hangs on my wall in my apartment. Always be a little kinder than necessary.
Mm.
Sometimes I've not been a very kind person.
That you see that.
I see it.
Most of the world doesn't. Every human can say that, honestly. But how many of us actually see it?
Very small percentage.
Open your eyes and see. All it takes is just be a little kinder than necessary. I like that verbiage. That's awesome.
What?
I would like to sit and record conversations every single day of my life. This is beautiful. The depth of connection, the depth of sharing, of curiosity is profound, and it changes everything.
I've told people recently, since I've been living in Staten, the conversation is everything, and it can happen someplace besides the fucking dining room when everybody disperses and goes back to their room. Talking heads, no conversation whatsoever.
The game show rules everything. I say every conversation's worth having and no conversation is ever over. That feels true to me. And by the way, if there was ever to be a situation where you ended up writing a letter to yourself and you're sitting there thinking, what do I do with this? I'll read it and post it on my podcast, which is called Emotion Art. Just an offer, if that time comes. I don't know what the future holds, but I would love to do that. Then anyone can read it that wants to.
Year before last, I became interested in fountain pens.
Mm-hmm.
And these little, that's not a fountain pen. How dare I? I've written some with that one.
Can I open it?
Yeah.
I love it. It has a cartridge.
It is actually a plunger.
So it actually has
That
an
they call
inkwell.
a converter. You put so much ink in this thing that looks like a cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
Only when the ink gets low, when you can see it stopping flowing, you just open up the base and push the plunger in gently until you see this little bubble of ink on the nib.
Do you like to use it?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
It's beautiful. You should try it. You should try it.
I'm going to. I like that. And I like the way it feels. It's brass. It's heavy. It's beautiful.
Yes, the whole thing is brass. I think this is plated bronze, the clip. The rest of it's brass.
That's not meant to be thrown away.
Nope. A couple of years ago, I got interested in fountain pens, and I bought one off Amazon.
I've heard of that place.
And I wrote a letter with that pen, I guess maybe to honor my mother, who wrote letters every day. Now I have about 15 of them. My working collection fits in a little glass, so 5 or 6 pens, and I rotate them. Green, blue, red if I want it. I like especially what part of this has in it, which is writer's blood.
A dark, like mahogany rust. Beautiful.
I manipulated the bloods with some of my own mix to darken it up, still have that texture. Yeah.
Coyote, it sounds like there's something inside you that wants to write.
Well, I do write.
And of course, now is coming to my consciousness what you were talking about with the noise, letting it out. So you wake up in the night, the door slammed door, the PTSD. You were talking about the loudness in your head. The feeling I got was that you try to practice, maybe through meditation, I don't know, finding that quiet place.
I like quiet.
I wonder if there's something in that particular chaos that wants to come out through writing.
I find great peace in a forest because the forest is so quiet. I can hear noises and sounds that creatures make or that the wind makes in the leaves of the trees. Quiet. I like working in apple orchards when I prune in the spring. Usually where the apple orchard is, there's not much else happening around. Up in Alpine especially. It's one of the favorite times that I have of each year for more than 10 years now. peace and quiet. Not so much quiet as peace. Of walking into a swarm of bees and just have them come close and talk to you. And in the wintertime when it's snowing and one has a hummingbird feeder or more hanging there, and there's 30 absolutely anxious little hummingbirds wanting to get at all that sugar water. And I put my finger up underneath their little feet. They step on it and take a drink. What a feeling. One of my favorite photographs that I have of Merka is when she was a little girl, and she's holding a live bird cupped in her hands like this. She's always been like that.
That's the person I know. And the plant, the flower blossom, has the same value in her eyes. It's beautiful.
She gets astounded by things like her recent experience up on Salvie Island, 2 weekends in a row to go see the sandhill cranes. They're there by the hundreds. She sent me a couple of videos on WhatsApp. I asked her, well, maybe I could go on one of those adventures. She said, you can drive up and see them right out your car window from a distance away. Might do that.
Sounds beautiful.
Person should keep their bucket list to one.
Is that your bucket list?
One thing.
One thing.
One thing, one maybe thing.
Sand cranes.
Sandhill cranes. They do a whole bunch of stuff up in the Arctic, and then they come south for the winter. There's a resident population on Salvie Island, and it's all on private property, which is a good thing. And the private property is all corn and other grains. So when they're through with the harvest, it's just in time for the migration and for the ones that were just hanging back and getting the fruits of their persistence. Birds are beautiful.
And they're free.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by, in my room, I have a pillow that is my side pillow, so I can kind of balance myself half belly, half side, and it's feather filled. And there's these, when I get up and I dress, brush my hair and whatever, once in a while I can see floating in the air this filament of a feather. And it amazes me every time. How is that? And my mind goes, you know how that is. This is how we're going to develop lighter than air travel. What? No. We've already tried that. It was filmed. He jumped off the Eiffel Tower and he didn't fucking make it. You're kidding me. You have not seen that?
It sounds familiar, though. I probably did at one time.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a black and white film of his exhibition of his suit. It looked like a giant bat costume.
Oh, boy.
And it shows him jumping off.
Oh, boy.
It shows him falling straight down and then splat. And I saw that and I said, shit, that could have been me.
Sounds like something you would have done, huh?
I kind of half did that. I was playing in it, playing in the trees. Young fir saplings, about 30 feet tall. And in the springtime, it was warm enough to invite my friend up from town. We were going to go play in the forest, you know, cowboys and Indians, of course, right? And then it became Tarzan of the Apes. So here we are, kind of swinging from treetop to treetop, easy, because they were planted so close. The one I had grabbed a hold of to transfer to snapped off in my hand. And I'd already let go with the other hand. Oh, fuck.
What a letdown.
First big break in my life. Amazing.
Amazing that you're still here. With everything you've been through. But you're not going to be here forever.
I know. That's good. I think the world might be grateful that there's only one of me.
What would you like to leave the world with?
Smile.
Those aren't words. No symbol. the real
What
expression.
can you say at the end of this big molecular experiment?
You've already said it. Be a little kinder than necessary. If that won't put a smile on your face, I don't know what will.
It's a good motto to take personally. In my case, I'm not used to living with so many people
Yeah.
around me. Through the wall, there's one that way. Through the wall, there's another one that way. And across the hall, and it's coming and going. Now, going out is a probability, and I welcome it.
Sounds like you have a little trip to plan to see some sandhill cranes. Or maybe a nice, peaceful forest.
Or a beach. I spent a lot of time in Newport, being as my hometown is Toledo. I like the beach. See the sandpipers and a lot of gulls. They're kind of a scrubby bird, gulls.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ever wanted to know anything about lighter than air, watch them on a windy day.
Yes.
And just kind of right there. The crows know how to do that, but the birds that do it the best are the ravens at Coachella.
Mm.
When the wind blows across the desert, the roads are built up, right? Because they had to make a base, and you just can't drive on a sandy road. It disappears sometimes. They can just hover in that Venturi effect as the wind blows across the highway. And they talk to each other, and they tell jokes, and they watch traffic. Because after you've had your fill, let's go play somewhere. Animals have it pretty good.
Truth is, humans do as well.
And we have an advantage being apex predators.
We just tell ourselves stories. Us versus them. And therein lies our misery. Joseph Adler.
Joseph Adler, that's a familiar name.
He was a psychologist, I think. I think of him as a philosopher. From his philosophy came the books, The Courage to be Disliked, and then The Courage to be Happy. His idea is that all human suffering, maybe he says most, but I think it's all human suffering comes from interpersonal relationship. Us versus them. That's what reminded me of it.
And a great deal of it is self-inflicted.
From the stories. He says there's 3 different ways of talking about something. That bad person, poor me, or what do I want to do next?
Decision.
The first 2 are the cause of human suffering. That bad person, or me. The third one, what do I want to do next? That's the whole point of his philosophy.
It's the whole point of a hunter as well.
Mm.
Always looking for 2 things. Interpretation of all the nuances between advantage and disadvantage. Comfortability, rebellion, happiness. Although the finer tuned emotions are secondary to finding solutions. And then it comes back to ITTT. If that, then this.
Mm.
Or you can reverse it. If this, then that. I drove up to the wrong house.
When you were coming up
If
here?
that, then this.
It was part of the schedule.
The 2 guys in a car drove in the driveway behind me and asked what I was doing there. And it wasn't their place either.
Hmm.
And I said, my phone is dead. I'm looking for 2 people named Michael and Angela. And the woman says, they live just next door. I took the wrong left. My navigator and my dead phone.
Technology is not as helpful when it runs out of a charge. Well, I'm really glad that you made it here. That you came, that you gifted. I would say gifted me, but that doesn't feel right. That you gifted us this time.
I guess it's a matter of sharing.
And everybody that's listening to this conversation is sitting in the room with us right now. That's how I look at it.
Wow.
Talk about time travel.
No, I put myself in the invisible audience on many a podcast.
Me too.
This is the first one I've participated in. Merka wanted me to do an audio, I don't know what it's called, like story of my life thing.
Yeah. So hard to manufacture that. Oh my goodness.
Comes in bits and pieces.
It does. And this may be episode 1. Who knows? No conversation is ever over, even if it doesn't continue on mic. If there's conversations that want to be had, I intend to say yes to them. And I'm curious, is there anything that wants to be said that hasn't been said in this moment?
Of course, many things.
I appreciate that perspective.
Appreciate you, knowing a little bit more about you. The face that I've seen in photos from the unbirthday soiree to the face I see now is quite different.
The person is different. Thank you for seeing me.
Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome.
Hopefully we'll meet again.
Inevitably. Lot of love and deep thanks to Buddy Anderson for his original music and audio engineering. This podcast sounds the way that it does because of his heart and the way that he listens. Explore his sound at From Another Mista on Spotify. Well worth the listen. And to Angela Cook, our producer, thanks for holding the vision, weaving the threads, and helping every episode land with clarity and care. To every one of you who's subscribed, listened, shared, or just felt something along the way, thank you. You're part of this too. Your attention is sacred. I don't take it lightly. Stay curious. I'll see you next time.